Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you this morning. And I'm still here at Mama's house. And I couldn't hear that promo there for some reason. I'm not able to hear anything. And so we are working on it. I don't know what the deal is, but I hope you all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. It says you can, but we'll never know until you tell me for sure. Okay, you could actually hear the promo. All right, cool. That was fun. Good to see everybody. And been kind of an exciting 24 hours. When I was here last time, Mom told me she had some problems with some yellow jackets back in the backyard or on the backside of the house. I went back there and checked, and there is a hive evidently inside the back wall of the house, which is not good. And from the amount of those little yellow jackets out there, pretty good size hive. And so the last time I was here, I squirted a bunch of yellow jacket and wasp killer spray into the back of the house, and that didn't seem to do anything. So this time when I come back, problems still exist, obviously. And my Uncle Ray went and got some it's like the foam that seals up the entrances, and they had at least two entrances I identified. And so one of them was inside there's a small gap in the mortar inside the window frame, or alongside the window frame. So I took and I sprayed into that, filled it up real good, then went up down the window frame last night after it was dark and cold and they were all inside. And so then I sprayed all there was one main entry hole, but then there was some other holes in the mortar, and that seems to have sealed up the hive itself from the outside. However, this morning when I went back out, there was a whole bunch of them just swarming around the outside. And I don't know if they were already outside. I don't know anything about bees, guys. Um, 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 so the what I'm thinking is, do they stay out? If they're out too far, do they all come back to the hive at night, or do they stay out wherever they may land that night and then come back in the next morning? Because there's quite a few of them out there, probably about 100 of them swarming around. But my biggest concern is, I just went back out and checked before I went live, and it was there's a couple of them on the inside of the glass inside the garage. So I don't know if they came through the garage, because there's a shelf there that has to be pulled away from the wall before I can see what's going on. So, oh, really? That's a good idea, Stephen. That's a good idea, Steve. Did not know that. So, Mama, somebody said if you get the 7 powder, put it outside the nest, they'll carry it into the nest and it'll kill them. So, yeah, that may be what we have to do is contact a beekeeper, and but they're going to have to tear out that back wall, and I'm trying to do it as economically as I can. So I didn't know 7 powder was an option. So yeah, that's an easy fix there. I'll is 7 powder dangerous to anything else that may be around? I don't want to. Now, these aren't regular bees. These are not the honeybees. These are the ones that come out in the fall, the little yellow jackets that love the pop and the stuff. It kills ants too good. Oh, Lord. $700 for an EpiPen. Really? That's insanity. So anyway, man, this chair is very uncomfortable. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. And I don't like bees. I really don't like bees. Love. Oh, they want the queen. Yeah, Kentucky. Is this my Kentucky? Hi, Aruba Dive Girl. Good to see you. Doesn't bother animals. Okay, microchip. It's good. Gunpowder. Now, don't tempt me, Linda. Or not, or Joshua. Don't tempt me. Yellow Jacket's very aggressive. Yes. Okay. Cool, Chips, Mom. That's what I needed to know. We don't have any. Mom doesn't have any pets, and so that's not a big deal. But we do got some neighbors that have cats that run around, so do not want that to happen. It's Bum Bum. Okay. Hi, Kentucky. Missing you guys. I was expecting to be out of here by now, but I'm working on a presentation here tonight. Okay. Good, Penny. That's good advice. Hi, Fireball Gal. Good to see you. Yes, Penny, I do have my rig still. I have hired somebody to drive it, and so right now they're driving it for me. Oh, man. This fall? Oh, 5-star. Oh, that's horrible. Wow. I'm glad you're okay. My goodness. That could have been tragic. Man, that's very, very yeah, they're very aggressive animals. And so I don't want to mess with them, just saying. Yeah, Donnie, I'm still here at my mom's house. Yeah, Penny, I Probably should have hired somebody a lot earlier to drive it, but man, that was a tough decision. Master Grifter in here? I missed that. What up, brother? I don't see his Master Grifter. I slid down through there was an old combine used to sit out behind my grandmother's house. And we used to slide down the chute of it all the time. And then they pulled it back into the field a ways. And went probably 3 or 4 years and we didn't think nothing about it. And one day we decided to go back there and relive our younger days. And my cousin slid down through it first and right through a nest of hornets. And then I slid down through and he had got them all worked up for me. He didn't get stung once. I got stung so many times. It was unreal. And talk about painful. Yeah, I drove it for a long time, the convoy, and I was staying in it while we were at Bunker Hill. It gave me a place to stay. But financially, I probably should have put somebody on it a long time ago. So Plumber B's in the house. Good to see you, man. Mags. Oh, there's Mags too. Hey, buddy. Armada, good to see you. Ronald, good to see you, buddy. I missed a lot of them there at the very beginning, so forgive me. I'm sorry. This chair is just extremely uncomfortable, and I'm not sitting in it correctly. So, yeah, like I said, I was planning on being out of here early this morning, and Mags, I went through and recorded a voiceover on the presentation, but using the PowerPoint program to do that. And it just didn't turn out right. I'm gonna have to do it again. The levels, the volume level goes up and down. And like if I made a mistake, it said, you could record from the same screen. Well, you got to give it just a few seconds to start, I guess. So I'm going to do that again. It'll be something that you can actually just take in, and if you don't feel comfortable in actually reading the slides, you can just play the video. So that'll be cool. Hi, Christy. Hi, Donnie. How you doing, my brother? Good to see everybody on here this morning. I'm drinking a little 7-Up. Mama got up this morning. I got up really early and was setting up to do that voiceover. I wanted to do it last night, but I was too tired to do it last night. And so I came in this morning to do it, and Mom must have heard something, and she got up and she said, what do I think the coming eclipse means for Christians? I'm not sure. Yes, go to Aruba Dive Girl and on YouTube here and subscribe. I've been able to join her the last couple of mornings as she drives into Orlando on her job. She's a great patriot, doing a lot of great work down there last night, and just love her to death. She's a great patriot. So go over there to Aruba Dive Girl and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, anyway, I'll be working on that coming up. So let's see. I seen something else. Are in Ohio? Are they okay? Yeah, you were by the church last night. I was there last night. I went to the church last night and got to spend some time with them. So it was really good. You've been peeved. You've been formally appointed by the county chairman to the committee position, and Saturday morning. I will be a certified poll watcher. Oh, fantastic! That's fantastic, peeved. That's wonderful. Oh, the eclipse happens on election day. Is it a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse? I'm not sure which one it is. I don't follow a lot of that stuff. I apologize. I got a cousin named Tim. Yeah. He's probably about 62 or so. Worked at Armco. So anyway, Mags, I'll be getting that wrapped up hopefully today. And now that I got to learn by mistakes. So hopefully we'll get it all set up and rolling here pretty soon. No kidding. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Tim's a good man. He is a great man. He's a lot of fun. Him and his brother Tom. Of course, I grew up with them, and they're hilarious. So, anybody go to the church service with us last night? Last night's church service was fantastic. I could tell my brother was tired. He when he got up to preach last night, he started a new job. That's what it is. And I could tell, man, he was really tired last night. He gets up really early in the morning, and I think he gets off like 2 in the afternoon, but it's getting that adjustment down. So, yeah, our church is it's a lunar eclipse. Okay. Yeah, the singing at our church is just phenomenal. The music, the musicians are fantastic. As a matter of fact, everybody last night who played music in the church, except for the bass player, was actually my cousin. So, and I'm really proud of them. Very, very proud of them. So, nobody said anything about my new watermark there. I had a guy send that to me. Let me give credit where credit is due here. Let me, well, that's not the one. That was on this one over here. I have to go find it. Hang on just a second, which I haven't checked those lately either. I'm sorry if you sent me an email. Forgive me. I like that. His name is, his email is just some guy. So, pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. Appreciate it. And I wish I looked that good, So it does me too, Virtual Productions. every time I see that, I'm like, man, I need to go work out. So, oh yeah, I'm going. That's what I came home for, was to vote. And I'm going to do it before I pull out of here. Yeah, Aruba Dive Girl. That's I wished I looked that good. Yeah, that's one of the things that I came home for, was to do that. So, oh, thank you, Bertie. You're too kind. I'll take that compliment. So, did you hear that, Plumber B? It's how was it again? I look better than the watermark. Yeah, you look even better, Santa. See, Plumber B. See, Mags. Told you guys. So anyway, yeah, it's been a good weekend or a good couple days here at home. Mama's feeling better today. I can tell she's feeling better. She's up rummaging around, and she fixed me breakfast this morning. So we had biscuits and gravy and sausage and eggs and fried apples. Yeah, she dries those apples. Thank you, Linda Garamata. Appreciate that. Yeah, the guitars. Yeah, they some great guitar players in that church. My nephew was one playing lead guitar last night, and he just, I play harmonica with him, and if he's taking a break and I'm like vamping on the harp, um, I can't play the harp and smile at the same time. So it's kind of tough, but he tears me up. I just love to hear him play guitar. So yeah, Barbara, I did too. Oh, good, Midwest. That's good. I think every kid needs to at least try to learn how to play an instrument. Everybody, it's not for everybody, but at least try. You may never know. You might have a talent. Might have a talent you didn't realize you had. So, all right, Aruba. Good luck today. She works so hard. I didn't see your former comment, RN. I know what you mean. Yeah, that's where our hope is. So I haven't yawned at all until I get on camera. It's you guys that make me yawn so much. My court date is Monday. Go to court on Monday. That's great, Chip's mom. That's fantastic. Ernie Ball, music man, Husker red guitar. Ooh, good. That's cool. Hi, Stacy. How you doing? Hi, Sean. How you doing, brother? Or I guess Sean could go either way, couldn't I? Got to quit doing that. Thank you, Jerry. Goodness. I'm gonna have to get me some coffee going here. Mom asked me, she says, "Don't you drink coffee anymore?" I haven't made my. Usually, I love coffee in my my little percolator. I got a campfire percolator, but it only makes like 2 cups, so it's not good for a group setting like we got. But it makes the best coffee in the world. Oh, James Valentine signature guitar, cool. That's really cool. But Mags, you and I still haven't hooked up. We gotta get together and make that phone call. Last night, man, when I watched a little bit of your live, and man, I had to go. So, Chip's mom, did I get your email? Let me look and see. See, that's the good thing about being live with a phone in my hand. What would have been the email? I don't see it. I don't see it. So I don't know, Chip's mom. I don't see it here. Oh, the cage is in the shop. Thank you. How can you plan for that, HD? How in the world can you plan for when diesel runs out? it's just unthinkable. It's just totally unthinkable that we'd live in that kind of country, that would let our diesel supply be depleted even to this level. I mean, it's just ridiculous for it to even be this way. And make no mistake, it's the government's responsibility when you have inflation. I'm working on putting together a podcast on that, where, what causes inflation. And thank you, Edith. I appreciate that. Here's the way I feel about it. It's this is what we came here to do, and we're not going to we're not going to let threats and power plays like that, we're just not going to let it stop us. And I think we've hit on a much better formula of actually turning the country around. So New York's getting close. Oh yeah, you got that new, yeah, cool. Good, Mags. Hashtag pray for red wave. Yep, absolutely, HD, absolutely. This is it's not. Look, there's no way this is not intentional. There's just no way, in my opinion. I mean, who am I? But it just seems so plain to me. You can't. I think they said that 50% of the money that's ever been printed was printed in like the last 19 months. I can't. Don't hold me to that. But the Yahoo address. I'll tell you what. If you don't care, send that to. I don't do the Yahoo. I'm sorry. I should have made that clear. Apologize. Send it to the 1770. I'm sorry, Santa at 1776rm.com. If you don't care. Yeah, the Yahoo address that you send it to, that's just a junk email that I use. I think there's over 10,000 emails in there right now. It goes up and down as they delete it. I guess it only holds so many. So I apologize for that, Chips. It's Santa at 1776rm.com. And that's the one that I check on. Amen. Ohio RN. Amen. No, Christian, I didn't see that. Ted Cruz's dad. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's I can't see how anybody can agree with what's going on right now. This is the most insane. I mean, I've been through, times before where I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." No, this surpasses anything we've ever been through before. This is, in my opinion, this is the final push to destroy us. So, Kimber, I don't know I don't know. That's all right, Carol. Glad you're here. Appreciate you coming in. I think I seen something come up on Cash App. Let me see here. Oh, thank you, Chip's mom. Thank you so much. Bless your heart. I appreciate that. That's so kind. Thank you very much. If you can send that to me, that 1770 or Santa at 1776 RM, I'll try to work on that. Okay. I believe so, Ohio. I believe so. Exactly, 5-star. Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at. I could not have said that any better. I do not trust either side. So thank you, Armada, for putting that up. Oh wow, Steve. That's troubling. Huh. But anyway, we're excited about the new program, the new system, the new presentation. That's the word I'm looking for. So, you guys, Mags, if you can tell me how I can play a video from YouTube, I've got a link here I'd like to play. How do I put it in my private chat, but I don't know how to pull it into, let's see if I can do that. I've never shared screen. Let me try this. You guys, we're going to practice again here, guys. Okay. Oh, I see how it is. I've seen you do this before, Mags. Let's see this. I need to. It says it's better if it's. Let me pull up another one here. Let's see. And do I just? Okay, so there's that. So now, how do I go over here to? You got two screens, don't you? Look how that just goes on and on and on. So share system sound. Okay, let me remove it and do it again then. How do I type into that? Do I remove my? Okay, so it removed my audio. How do I type into that? Or can I? Or does it just share the actual screen itself? Never mind. Yeah, it's let's see if I can add I see how to do it. Okay. Let me go over here and do this. Let's see here. And man, I wish I had sound. Let's see if I can do this again. Let's go back up here. And present. Share screen. It's easier with two monitors. Of course it is. Just do the window. There we go. Do that. And then come down to here. And let's see if that works. I don't think that's working. No, it's not working. Anyway, I'll have to figure it out. Stop screen. There we go. So I'll figure it out. No sound. Okay. I will figure it out eventually. Eventually. So anyway. I wished I could play that so bad. I'm cracking up this morning. It's how many mods will get booted? It's just, I'm working off of I'm not working off of my phone now, so Mustang Sally, you're gonna get in trouble. So, hey Gator girl, how are you feeling today, hon? Hope you're doing okay. I won't tell him. I won't tell him, Mustang Sally. Hang on just a second. I won't tell him. Hey, Elf. I want to check out where your secretary's at. I ain't talk to you, everybody. No, I'd never ever snitch on you or nothing, anything like that. So good, Gator girl. I'm glad you're good. Bless your heart. So we got a Facebook profile, it looks like again, or Facebook presence. So mute it first. I have no idea. You want to try it again? Let's try it again. I think it's still there. Let's see. Could you guys see the video file? Or, oops, I pushed video file. I need to, I'll tell you what I need to do. Here's what I'll do. Let me, let's see if I can, oh Lord, this one here cracks me up. Let me just do a screen grab of it real quick, then I'll send it to myself. And oh man, I've got to do all this. I paid for this stupid screen record thing, and it's still making me watch all the videos. That's frustrating. So today, Mom is fixing. She's fixing the Italian sausage link with barbecue and barbecue beans. Mom, you want to come and join us? Hang on a second, folks. Let me bring Mom in here. Mom, will you come and join me? Sit down and talk to me for a minute. Yeah, you can't. Come here, sit down and talk to me. Hang on a minute, folks. I'm going to bring Mom in. Hang on. Let me see here. Just bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I pushed mute. Now, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to mute it. I accidentally did. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. Mama, say something. Say good morning to everybody. Good afternoon to everybody.
You want me to say something?
Yeah. Say good afternoon to everybody.
Good morning to all. Well, I think it's more getting in the noonday. Good morning to all of you. I hope you're staying warm and healthy and being content.
All right. Let me turn this around where they can see you.
I love all of you. Praying for you.
So
take care of my baby up there. Be sure you do.
Everybody's saying hello, Mama.
I love you all. Just be real careful.
So, Mama, I grew up on the stories of how God has moved in our family. One of my favorite stories when I was growing up was how God had moved for your dad, my grandpa.
Oh, when he was a little boy?
Yeah. If you can, just kind of tell us the story behind that.
My people were all in, my daddy's people were Baptist people. And it's a long story, David. I hate to tell it.
Tell it.
But anyhow, my daddy was a boy about 13 years old. He got really, really sick. And the Lord used my daddy to bring his family into the holiness movement. And my grandpa, which was my dad's dad, J.P. Lamb. I have a voice problem, I'm sorry. But anyhow, he was a deacon of the Baptist church. And holiness people came in the community where they all lived. And my dad, we called him Poppy. Poppy got very sick. 16-year-old boy, maybe, well, no, more like 13, I think he said. And I've heard him tell this story many, many times. But my grandmother, she was in the Baptist church as well. And her sister came to live over in Madison County from Jackson County. But while they were back in Jackson County, they got connected into the Holiness movement and started going to church over there. And they loved it, and they loved what they felt. And they saw a lot of healings going on. They knew the Spirit of the Lord was in the building, in the churches where they went. So they got right into that holiness movement. My Aunt Lucy and Uncle Johnny Abner. And they moved to Madison County. And it wasn't long after they moved to Madison County that my daddy got very, very sick. And the Lord used my daddy and Aunt Lucy and Uncle Johnny to bring his family in, to bring our family into the holiness movement. And I remember Poppy saying that he was really, really sick and about to die. And he told his dad, says, you need to send for Aunt Lucy to come pray for me. And Grandpa told him, no, I don't want to do that. I'll go get you a doctor, but I don't want to send for Aunt Lucy. He said, I don't want them over here. He was hard against holiness. He was very hard against holiness. And so anyhow, time went on and Poppy got very, very sick, about to die. And Grandpa let Aunt Lucy come. They sent for her. Here she come on horseback. And kept doing that. Time or two, Aunt Lucy would have to come. He'd get better if Grandpa would go get a doctor and bring the doctor out. Then Poppy he'd get bad again. And then he'd get really, really, really sick. And he'd say, Pop, you don't send for Aunt Lucy, I'm going to die. He said, when I die, Pop, burn me up on Cowpasture Hill. And you know, I pass that hill every time I go to Kentucky down to church. Down there at our little home church on Red Lick Road. Yeah. I pass that hill and I said, Lord, I thank you that Poppy wasn't buried as a child up on that hill. So it went on for a while, and Poppy got to having visions. And one day or however it was, the Lord came to him and talked to him, said, Gilbert, you need to tell your daddy that he needs to have padded places around the far side for the children to pray. Now, what they call padded places is that they each one had a little place they got down and prayed at.
Yeah.
I remember as a child getting down in the stairway. As I went up the stairs, I would kneel down in them stair steps. Yeah. On the first realm or the second step going up. But anyhow, the Lord came down and talked to Poppy and told him, said, tell your dad he needs to have padded places around the far side for the children to pray. And Grandpa didn't like that. He'd give her, what are you talking about? He said, well, I don't know, but this man comes down in a big golden chair, sitting in a golden stairway, and said, and he talks to me, he tells me that you need to pray, Paul.
Yeah.
You need to pray. And of course, Grandpa didn't like to hear that. But Grandma, she was more tender. And she said, Gilbert, ask him what his name is. Ask him what his name is.
The man that was
If
coming
he comes
down,
back.
the man that was coming down, sitting in the
I
golden
said,
chair.
The man, when he ever comes back again in that golden chair you're talking about, ask him his name. Tell us what his name is. So it wasn't many days later till the man came back to visit Poppy. And he told him, said, tell your mom and dad they need to pray. And said, what is your name? And he said, you tell them that I'm the Lord of glory. And David, when we bought that church out there at Red Line back in 1968, 69, they said, what are we going to call it? And I said, I said, can I say something? And they said, yes, you can. And I said, I want you to call it the Lord of Glory.
Yeah.
And I said, you can add something else to it if you want to. So now it's the Lord of Glory Holiness Church.
Yeah.
And it's been there ever since 1969. And I just think the name is beautiful because I know where it came from.
Right.
I know where it came from. But anyhow, Grandpa got under conviction. He got under conviction, and while Poppy was sick, and one night Poppy was really, really sick. We didn't know what was wrong with him. He said, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I was bedfast. He said, I was
Couldn't
just
eat.
sick, couldn't eat, couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And he said, I was about to die.
Yeah.
And he said, I wasn't afraid. But he said, one night his daddy, a revival came in the community of the holiness people up at Uncle Johnny's house. They don't gather in their houses. And Uncle Johnny's family were very talented with music.
Yeah.
And they played music and they sang beautiful. Reuben Abner and all of them, you know.
Yeah.
All them boys could sing.
Yeah.
And so one night they was in a revival up there, having church every night. And Grandpa come to Poppy's bedside. He said, son, if you wasn't so bad off, I'd go over to the little church tonight. We're over at Uncle Johnny's church. He said, Paul, I want you to go. I want you to go. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I want you to go. So his dad said, well, believe it will. He went to church by himself. And the Lord of Glory came back to Poppy and talked to him. He come down in the golden stairway in a big golden chair. And there he sat. Poppy told me, I said, Poppy, did you ever see his face? He said, no, I never saw his face.
Yeah.
But it was a man figure.
Yeah.
And he said he was big. And he was in that golden chair, that big golden chair. And he said, Gilbert, he come to him and he said, Gilbert, I'm going to spare you with your dad and mom. I'm going to spare you. He said, your dad prayed tonight. And a couple hours later, Grandpa came in from the church and he walked in the door and Poppy said to Grandpa, he said, Pa, come over here. I want to tell you something. The man's been back. And he told me he's going to spare me because you prayed tonight. He said, son, it's the truth. I went to the altar.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how my family become holiness people.
Yeah.
It's because my daddy
Yeah.
got really sick and the Lord used him. And that's how he become then Grandpa came in, and he was a young man with a bunch of little children. Poppy was one of the older ones. And he made a preacher, I mean a fine preacher, lived the holiness life. And he built churches, helped build churches.
Yeah.
And I'd say that Grandpa baptized more people than anybody I know in Warren County.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
Now, there's a part of that story that you didn't talk about. That was your aunt, his aunt that came over. She had that big purse with, you forgot that part of the story.
Yeah, Poppy had 8, this is all backed up. He had 8 for days or several days. And they knew he couldn't live if he didn't eat. And Grandma was so tore up.
Yeah.
And Aunt Lucy come to pray for him. He sent for him.
Yeah.
And they agreed to let Aunt Lucy come. And Aunt Lucy came, which was Grandma's sister.
Yeah.
But people didn't visit that much when they lived way off. If they lived in Jackson County, my family lived in Madison, that was a hard road for them to come. There wasn't highways like they are now.
Right.
Cars, they went horseback, buggies, and wagons. And anyhow, she came to pray for Paul. And Aunt Lucy said when she left the house that morning, there was an apple laying on the, she called it a buffet, I believe. And she said, I picked that apple up and put it in my purse. And she said she called it her satchel.
Yeah.
And Aunt Lucy was a midwife, you know.
Yeah.
She went helped a lot of people. But anyhow, she came to pray for Poppy, and he got better.
That's when all that happened at the same time.
Yeah.
All the same day.
Yeah, he raised up in bed. He said, he said, I could eat an apple if I had one. And Grandpa said, well, son, there ain't an apple in a mile of here. And Aunt Lucy went over to her satchel and just pulled out that apple and brought it to Poppy, and he ate it.
Yeah.
And that made a believer out of them.
Yeah.
You know, Poppy didn't know she brought that apple.
Right.
Grandpa didn't know it. And Grandma Lamb didn't know it.
Yeah.
But that was one of the signs that was made them be a believer. And you know, Grandpa came out of the Baptist church, and he was a deacon in the Baptist church. I've heard him tell it. And he said, I was a deacon in the Baptist church, but I carried a pistol from my enemy.
He was going to kill somebody, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he had a particular person.
Somebody.
Yep, he had a particular person.
He had fell out with somebody, and he is a little man, but he was high strung. he had somewhat of a temper.
Yeah.
And he was a workaholic. Put him out of Ray, my twin brother Ray.
Yeah. Just
a little old fellow and hard worker, raised a big family, paid his bills. He was as honest as the days was long. He wasn't about to buy nothing he couldn't pay for.
Right.
And now today his picture hangs in the Warren County, Lebanon here.
Yeah.
Right in the city building.
Yeah.
His picture's right among some of the greats.
Yeah.
They call them, I don't know what they call them. Men of our society, the greats.
Yeah.
And he's one of them men. There he sits, his little head sticking up, and I think, oh, Grandpa, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Now, there was tell the story about the doctor up in Xenia and what happened in that story.
Well, he had a lot of faith.
Yeah.
Grandpa had a lot of faith.
Your grandpa, the one that got saved because
my
grandpa was sick and.
Yeah, Poppy got well.
Yeah.
Poppy got well and got up, and then, you know, after so many years, he married my mother.
Yeah.
You know, and then my mother and him, Mom and Poppy had 14 children.
Yeah.
2 sets of twins, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, Grandpa Lamb had a lot of faith. All of our family was faith. We believed in faith.
Yeah.
We believed that God could do anything.
Right.
And we were taught that. And I never knew what it was to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I never had a shot. all of my growing up until I got my blood test to get married to my husband. And I thought, well, that's a big deal to go get a blood test, you know.
Right.
And kind of afraid, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But anyhow, my parents, my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, they all had a lot of faith because they knew that God could heal.
Yeah.
They put him to the test, and they knew. Back years ago, you didn't have doctors to go too much. And so anyhow, there was I wish I'd got the name. Aunt Emmy told me this story. And I'd heard it before Aunt Emmy told me, but Aunt Emmy told me about it. And I don't know why that I didn't write it down, but it seemed like I'm thinking it was a Brandenburg lady that got sick, and Grandpa Lamb prayed for her, and she got healed. Well, then it wasn't long till one of the children that was in that family, if I know right, and he was a little child, and he was very, very sick, and he went to Dr. Stoneburner up at Mount Holly. Is that above Waynesville there?
I think so.
Mount Holly?
Xenia area, right?
Yeah, right between Waynesville and Xenia.
Yeah.
He had a doctor's office up there. And this child was brought in there to him, and he said, I can't help that child. He said, I'm going to tell you what I would do. I'd take that little boy and I'd go down around Waynesville and cross over the avenue over in a little town called Corbin. And so I hauled a little man up, a little short fellow. Said, I don't know his name. But I said, a little bald-headed man. Said, hunt him up and let him pray for this child. Yeah. So that's all the help I've got for this child. And, you know, they come down there and hunted Grandpa up. They hunted him up. Grandpa prayed for him. That child got healed. Yeah. And, you know, we just, a lot of stories that we could write about and tell about. And here I am, 86 years old, trying to tell some of these stories. And I've been healed myself. I know what healing is. I know what his love is. He loves everybody. Yeah. Jesus died for all of us, not just me, not just my family, but he died for all of us. And I tried to stay with the church that I feel is clean and lives a holy life. Don't want to live in the world. They absent themselves from the world, pretty much. Yeah. And we just try to live by the Bible. Yeah. I know I have, and I'm still trying to live by the Bible, because I may go home today to be with the Lord. And I want to be ready. I don't want nothing on my record. The Bible says that we're going to have to be holy, without spot, wrinkle, or even a blemish. Yeah. Now that's getting pretty close. Yeah. That's getting pretty close, David. Yep. And I want my children to make it. I want my grandchildren to make it. Yeah. And I don't believe the Lord made the way impossible. No. He made it possible that we all can be saved. Right. So, well, wherever you're at and I'm talking to you, please, just make sure that your sins are under the blood. Yeah. Jesus died for all of us, not just one. Right. All of us. What was you going to say?
I want you to tell that story about when I think you said you were 17 and got a hold of that watermelon.
Oh, yeah. I got a hold of watermelon. We was on the road coming home from Kentucky, and Poppy, he stopped on the roadside and bought a watermelon. And we pulled off on the roadside somewhere right after that. He decided he wanted to cut that watermelon. And so he cut that watermelon, and I ate my part of it because I love watermelon. Yeah. Went on home, and the next day, Lord, I was so sick. Oh my goodness, I come so near dying and didn't even know that I was that near death. But I guess I vomited 30 times.
Yeah.
I've never been so sick in my life. And Mommy and Poppy was gone. They had went to the orchard to get apples. They always went to the orchard, got apples in the fall of the year,
Yeah.
maybe 10 bushel or more.
Yeah.
Bring them back. We had a big apple bin in the basement
Yeah.
where we'd dump all those apples, ease them over into that big bin. Then we had apples for all winter.
Yeah.
Go down and get you some apples. You want a bowl full of apples? Bring up a bowl full so we all have some.
Yeah.
And that's the way we kind of lived.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I got really sick eating watermelon. I knew it's watermelon because when you vomit, you kind of know what's coming up.
Yeah.
And Grandpa Lamb come prayed for me. Uncle Mike came. I didn't get better.
Yeah.
I still was sick. And all at once, my two sister-in-laws came in. And they wasn't much to feel. They didn't feel like they were anybody. They were always just like me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm nobody. They're all much, those preachers are way, way ahead of me. But anyhow, they came over to the couch where I was laying down, and I heard them praying. And I heard them crying and asking the Lord to spare my life. And all at once, my back quit hurting. Oh, that was where my main pain was at. All at once, my back quit hurting. And I just raised up on the couch and sat down. I said, I've been touched. My back quit hurting. I've been touched. And
you said that you thought there might have been, the watermelon might have been poisoned that made you sick.
I thought, I knew it's watermelon that made me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was.
Yeah.
Because I was vomiting watermelon.
Right.
I knew it's watermelon. And I raised up on the couch and I said, I've been touched. And I said, I believe I'm well. And I was probably about 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And do you know, all at once I began to break out. Oh, Poppy said, look at Faye. He called me Helen a lot. He'd say, look at Helen. She's broke out. Look at her. And they all looked at me, and I was broke out from head to toe. The bottom of my feet was broken out.
Yeah.
And I felt like the scalp of my head raised up.
Yeah.
I felt like it raised up. And the Lord touched me in such a way that I went to church that night.
What about that?
I did. They were having a revival at Lebanon. They're on New Street.
Yeah.
New Street Mechanic upstairs. Brother Kelly was in a revival.
Oh, Brother Edgar Kelly. Yeah.
And I went to that revival. Brother Kilgore was supposed to be there that night, and I wanted to hear him.
Yeah.
Because I had gotten the Holy Ghost in his revival back when I was just 7.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go see him again, And I knew I wasn't going to be able all day long. Well, I got to where I didn't worry about seeing nobody. I was about to die. I'm telling you. And I told a friend of mine that one time how sick I got on watermelon. She said, I told her how it done me. And she said, well, honey, I'd say you got a hold of a watermelon where it had been a rattlesnake bit.
Oh, my.
That's what she told me.
Huh.
And I don't know that.
Yeah.
But I do know I got very sick.
It sounds like all the poison, God just drove it out of your body and it came out through your skin since you broke out.
It did.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. No more fever. No more nothing. No more vomiting. I was healed.
Yeah.
I heard them praying.
Yeah.
And I felt the touch.
Yeah.
It don't take much.
Yeah.
It don't take much to touch the Lord.
Right.
And, the big preachers don't always have it. Sometimes the little person in the church will have it. And that's where it makes the church a body. It makes it good. because everybody
Yeah.
can be
Anybody can
touched.
touch God.
Anybody can
Yeah.
touch God.
Now, you said it was your two sister-in-laws. Was it, who was it?
It was Dorothy, Emery's wife, Dorothy,
Yeah.
and James's wife, Juanita.
Juanita. Oh, okay. Okay.
It was them two girls that come and prayed for me. They had heard that I was very, very sick. I guess Liz got around that I was about to die.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't have phones like we do now.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But the Lord touched me to heal me instantly.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't you. It might have been trying to think, who was the little girl? Somebody was dying, and she had always heard that you're supposed to anoint them with oil. Was it Aunt Emmy?
Oh no, that was Opal Hodner's story.
Oh, okay.
Brother Dewey.
Oh, okay. Tell us that story. Tell us the people involved in it. 'Cause I had my stories mixed up. I didn't know exactly who it was.
Brother Dewey.
Now, Brother Dewey he became your pastor.
Later, later years.
Yeah.
Brother Dewey came out of Ford, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he was a good man. Him and Sister Flossie were good people. And they had, while he lived in Ford, something happened to him. He don't know what it was, so that he never did know for sure what it was. But he knew he was about to die. And, of course, we believe in prophets. We believe in prophesying.
Right.
And we now, if they're not true, that makes a bad thing.
Right.
But if they're a true prophet, God can use true prophets.
Sure.
He can use true people.
Right.
But anyhow, they were all. Brother Dewey had been sick for several days, about to die, and the pastor that he had over him, he said, Brother Dewey's about to leave here, and I can't stand to see him leave. So I'm going to go to the porch. And said, John said he wanted the people to let him know when it was all over for Brother Dewey. He was about to die.
Yeah. And
there was a lady there, a sister in the Lord. Her name was Frances Rose. And they all was praying, and she got in the Spirit. Spirit spoke through her, and she went to Opal.
Yeah.
And Opal was just a little 7-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And she said, child, if you anoint your daddy with oil, said, I'll heal him.
Yeah.
And Brother Dewey, he heard that.
Yeah.
Opal's daddy heard the Spirit speak that. He said, Lord, I'm dying, and you give a little child something to do, and I'm afraid she won't understand.
Yeah.
And he said, then another thought to him, Lord, you started it, you finish it.
Yeah.
So Opal went to the kitchen. They didn't have olive oil,
Yeah.
but they had coal oil.
Yeah.
So she goes and gets a little teacup, and she pours a little oil in that teacup. And she come back to his bed, and she came back speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
With the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
She just got it right then.
Oh, that's when she received it.
She received the Holy Ghost.
Now, how old was she?
7, I believe
7.
they said.
Oh my.
And 7 or 9. She was a child.
Yeah.
Girls didn't grow up real fast back years ago.
Yeah.
We had to be quite old before we thought we were grown.
Yeah.
Well, parents wouldn't let you grow up.
Yeah.
And it like it is today. TV breaks them up so fast.
Yeah.
But anyhow, she came back and she dipped her little 4 fingers in that oil.
Yeah.
And she smacked it on her daddy's head. They said, now I've heard him tell it. He said, she smacked that right on my head, and she said, something went through my body and I was healed instantly. He said, I come out of that bed and jumping. He said, I jumped all over the house. He said, I jumped so high that I kept trying to reach for something to hold me down.
Bless his heart.
And you know, if you've ever felt the Spirit of the Lord,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Because I felt it and I know. He was reaching for something to hold him down. And he was healed. His pastor, Brother Hale, that was laying out, sitting out in the porch swing, waiting for him to die. Come back in the house. What's going on? What's going on? So they told him, he saw the bed was empty.
Yeah.
Dewey's a shouting. Dewey's up and jumping. He's healed. He's healed. And you know, the Lord healed that man. And later on in life, they came to Ohio to live, and they pastored our church many, many years.
Yeah.
Lord, what a
Yeah.
blessing he was.
Such a good man.
And when he died, of course, I was married, but then had my children.
Yeah.
You boys were grown.
Yeah, I remember him.
When Brother Dewey died,
Yeah.
when I went to tell him bye, it took my breath.
Yeah.
It just about took my
Yeah.
breath. I mean, it hurt me so bad
Yeah.
to give him up. You know, people that really help you spiritually
Yeah.
are so precious.
Yeah.
They are so precious. But I just thank the Lord for every time he's let me feel him, and every time he's watched over my children. I know I'm looking at something right now with David. And I'm trusting God to bring him through.
Yeah.
I need the Lord to bring him through.
Any other stories you can remember?
Oh, there's lots of stories if I want to get into
Now
it.
let's get into the one where, let me see if I can remember. This is not. You were telling me, what was it? You tripped and fell and stuck your hand or something in. You dropped it. He was going into the cellar.
Oh, well, that was one time that someone left the tractor
That's
run.
it. This is not really spiritual. It's just kind of funny, but
Well,
you guys
no,
lived hard. You guys lived hard.
we did.
Oh yeah.
Well, we was farmers.
Yeah.
My dad and mom were farmers. She didn't go to the grocery like I do.
Yeah.
She wanted cornmeal. They went to the elevator and had their corn. She raised a patch of white corn
Yeah.
that she had ground up in cornmeal, and she would go buy flour, and they go buy sugar,
Yeah.
and they take it up the attic, and they hang it on he had a swing, and he made him something that hang from the rafters,
Yeah.
and it was like a bed, like a wagon bed. He'd load that down with flour and sugar. That was our flour and our sugar for the winter till
Okay.
we'd have to raise crops and sell what we could. And we had the cows. We milked cows. I used to get up and go to the barn and milk a cow from morning before I went to school. I know I went to school with my head smelled like a cow, probably, because I'd lean up against the cow. I lean up against the cow, milk her, you know. Now, you don't even know how to milk, do you, David?
I tried it one time.
You don't even know how to milk.
Well,
See, I was raised different than you.
you take a lid off of it. That's how you milk.
Yeah, that's how you get your milk. Just go to the refrigerator and get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We could come back to hard times again.
Oh yeah, I think we are.
We could. If we do, don't forget, God can bring you
Oh
through.
yeah. So anyway, you were carrying something. What were you carrying?
Oh, I think I went to go to the basement, maybe get some. Mommy would can blackberries and put them in half-gallon jars.
Yeah.
And she'd can peaches in half-gallon jars. Then of a night, sometimes she'd make what we called one-egg cake.
Yeah.
It was muffins. And
Okay.
she'd bake them in that big old it was a cast iron muffin. And I think it held 18.
Yeah.
And then she'd dump them out on the middle of the table. She spread a big white cloth there. It was made out of feed sacks. She'd bleach them, and that was her tea towels. And she dumped those cupcakes, what we call cupcakes, out on that big old towel. Well, each one of us children went, Lord, we loved it.
Yeah.
And I think I was going to the basement maybe to get jar peaches or blackberries, and it was dark. And I walked out there, and instead of waiting till I got to the basement where I turn the light on, I'm not even sure we had lights. I'm not even sure we had lights to go down there.
Yeah.
But I walked right over that trap. I just walked. The trap door went the other way, and I just walked and fell right down in that basement. And I hit a lard can, a 25-gallon, was one of those big lard cans, big ones, you know. So would that be a 25-gallon?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a large lard can. Mommy used to buy lard, L-A-R-D. That was her Crisco.
Yeah.
And she would buy that kind of a can. And when they were empty, we'd wash those cans up and use them for our sorghums. Poppy would make sorghums.
Yeah.
And my hand hit that lard can, flipped that lid, and my hand went down in that lard can. And it cut my hand really bad, and it tore off 2 or 3 nails.
Oh.
Just pulled them right, just turned them right back. I hit the edge of it, is what I done.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I thought I was killed. I started screaming, and I went back upstairs, and they come to me.
Yeah.
Somebody came to me, fell down the basement. And they had to take me into Corbin to get some bandages at the store.
Yeah.
And tape and stuff, because we didn't have it.
Yeah.
So Mom and Poppy loaded me up. They washed me up, got me all cleaned off, got that molasses off of me. Had to throw that big 5-gallon can of sorghums away.
Yeah.
Well, it's blood in it, you know.
Yeah.
So they threw it. And they took me to Corbin. And I remember Allie Cook was there.
Yeah.
And she said, come over to my house and I'll take care of your hand. And I went over to her house and she took care of my hand for me.
Oh.
I always made Allie seem so special to me.
Yeah.
And she was also with me the night I got the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and
Now,
Aunt Bonnie.
I'm gonna ask you to tell one more story, and I think if I'm remembering right, it has to do with your doll baby. Remember your story about your doll baby that you got for Christmas? Didn't you get a doll baby for Christmas?
We didn't get a whole lot for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Allie right now has got more in her room.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Allie, not Allie, but Paisley.
Paisley. Yeah.
Paisley's got more in her room right now than what all of us 11 kids got. Now that was 14, but Mama lost a set of twins. And they was about 14 months and 9 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Then she lost a little boy at 7, 6.5, or close to 7.
Yeah.
And the Paisley's got more toys, her one child, than what all of us 11 children had. We didn't have it. Poppy they didn't waste money on Christmas. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have it. And they'd take their stuff to market and at certain times of the year. But now we ate good.
Oh yeah.
We ate good. Mommy cooks. She's the best biscuit maker, cornbread maker you ever ate. I'm not kidding you. She's a little old short woman, but boy, she can cook. And
I know somebody like that.
Okay. But anyhow, mom was a good cook, and we never went hungry. And we had a coal stove to heat by, and we'd all have to go to the well to draw water, and we'd take turns.
Yeah.
It's my turn to go. Oh, you sure it's my turn? That's the way us kids would do each other. But anyhow, we'd take turns going to the well to get the bucket of water. We'd take turns of going to the coal bin and getting coal, keep the fire going for the night. Poppy would buy coal. And we'd try to get wood. We didn't have a lot of wood on our place.
Mhm.
I got a lot of wood here.
Yeah.
I could just live on wood for a long time, but it's because I let it grow.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Maybe somebody could use it to keep from freezing.
Yeah.
I like a fireplace.
Oh yeah. Well, Mama, thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
I didn't know it's going to make me do this, and here I said, I haven't even combed my hair today.
Well, yeah, I think you look beautiful.
Oh, yeah, you love me. I love you
Thank
too,
you.
baby.
I do love you.
I love you.
You're a good
God
mom.
bless everybody.
Yeah.
It's my prayer.
They all were enjoying it, Mom. All righty, folks. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, so I'm glad I got it done. So, I've been wanting to do that for quite some time, and I'm just glad we finally got it done. I'm blessed to have a wonderful, wonderful mama. Had a wonderful daddy.
Wonderful baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you guys didn't hear that, she said she has a wonderful baby too. So
I do. I have a wonderful baby.
she is she's the real deal. And her and daddy, they raised us boys right. We haven't always walked in that way that we're supposed to walk, but they never stopped loving us, but they never took up for us either. They made sure that they didn't excuse our sins. They didn't excuse our wrongs. They held us accountable, and that's what a good mom and dad does. And believe it or not, that woman there used to whoop me. I know you guys find that hard to believe, as sweet as she is today, but there's times you let her you let her find out I've done something wrong that she didn't agree with, and you put a switch in her hand. She didn't look as sweet and innocent and precious back then. She was she's kind of scary back then. But every one of them whoopings I got, I deserved, and probably should have got a few that didn't get. That I'm so proud of her, so thankful for her and Daddy. Now, Daddy, he wasn't a whipper. He didn't whoop us much. He farmed that out to Mama because she said that wasn't fair. My neighbor, some of you guys have seen him before on some of my live streams, Scott. He's crazy as he can be. But Scott was over here the other day, and she said something about, I wished I could raise him all over again. And Scott said, well, what would you do different if you could raise him all over again? And she said, I'd hold him more. And Scott said, underwater? So that reminds me, man, Scott's called me a couple times and I've missed him. I got to call him back. Well, listen, folks, I'm going to sign off here. And yeah, exactly. My halo ain't, it's held up by horns, some say. So just till the bubble stops. Shut up, Mags. Who asked you? Somebody put him on a timeout or something. Yes, my mama, I'm so thankful. Yeah, yardsticks. Man, there were so many things they whooped us with. I remember I got my first Hot Wheels track. Man, I thought that was the funnest toy. I loved that toy, man. And it's like she found out that it was a good paddle too. And she, whew. Then we got them Sizzlers tracks. Remember the Sizzler cars? You'd charge them up and they'd run. Man, they'd sizzle you all right. Get a hold of them things, man. That's when you start putting your your Christmas toys that you love so much, you start putting them back up on top of the shelf, of the top of the shelf of the closet. Don't want anybody to see them, you know. So, anyway, appreciate you guys joining in with us. Love y'all. I'm gonna take a little break here, and she's got some, like I said, some Italian sausage with barbecue and barbecue beans. So I'll go over and see what she's got. I'm getting a little hungry. So love you guys. Yeah, exactly. They'll grab anything around them. So we love you guys and appreciate you coming. And I'm gonna sign off here. I can play this little video again, and you guys can finish up your chats while that goes on. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.